Good evening. Welcome to our show tonight.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to ride.
It's in a skillet. Dump onto me.
So light, even Junior can help.
Are we this demented as a race?
And great fun for the whole family. But we're not just ordinary people.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Static Hour. I am your host, Rick Bravo. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Thank you guys for checking out the previous episode, the Billy Myers and Jason Ellis episode featuring Miranda Meadows, covering the Rainbow Bar and Riff Raff. That was a fun episode. It came out great. It was a fun time there at the Riff, and that's a little continuation off that episode and to be a little crossover into this one, just a little bit. But real quick before I get into all that, just want to plug some comedy dates I have coming up. This Friday, I believe it's what's that? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, 16th, 17th, 18th, the 19th. Friday the 19th, I'll be in Lake Elsinore at the Craft Brewing and Kitchen doing a stand-up comedy show there. Landy the comedian's going to be hosting. California Red's going to be on the show. Zach Hankins, Gerard Beaumont present, putting it all together. I believe it's Gerald, my man. He's a good guy, man, putting me on the show. There's some good beer there, too. I've done the open mic there every Wednesday. Done it once. Cool spot, good food. Come check me out there, doing some stand-up. And also, believe it's June 2nd. Off the top of my head, I thought I was going to remember, but I'll be in Corona at the Crown Comedy Club for Friday Jesters, put together by Silos. And, Unique Productions. There's going to be Ace, Dan, Drew, Chris, Johnny, Matt. Yeah. So there's going to be a bunch of people there, man. I never done this show. Shout out to Juan Cias for putting me on, helping me get on. And, yeah, guys. So catch me there June 2nd. Believe that's a Friday as well. All right, well, let's get into the show. So I had a little bit leftover audio. Okay, real quick, some of the feedback I got from the last episode, a couple feedback from people I don't know, but that's good. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. I know I asked for it, but apparently the introduction's too long. So I'll save you guys the trouble. If you guys want to get straight into the interview that I have queued up for this episode, go ahead and just fast forward to the 5-minute mark, saving you the trouble. Go ahead. Are you there? Okay, cool. All right, so for all of you that stuck around, now listen. There's people following me, man. No, real quick. No. That was a cool episode. So, to introduce the next portion at the 5-minute mark, I'm going to have an interview with a guy named Ephie. And I met him out there in Hollywood, outside of the Third Wheel during the Riff Raff show. And very funny, strange man, but funny is nevertheless. He was on, man. He was on. And I managed to interview him kind of in the essence of like how the 420 show, just on the spot. And it was an interesting conversation. But I was in Hollywood, and by the time I had that conversation, I was already smashed, as is known out on the streets. A lot of beer, a couple BLs thrown in there. I don't know where the fuck they came from, but they were in there. Anyway, so I had a long, like a little conversation there. So for this episode, I'm going to be talking about the movies, because he brought up a movie and then it kind of spawned off, gave me the idea for the topic of this episode. So I met this man Ephie. It's gonna be like a 7-minute interview, but anyways, thank you guys for tuning in once again to another one of these episodes. Crunching this one out, trying to stay on a weekly basis for the most part. So this is probably going to be recorded and dropped and edited immediately after I finished recording this whole thing. So sorry for the blemishes. Anyway, okay, we're around the part where I told people to fast forward to the 5-minute mark. If you did that, fuck you, jerks. You don't have. This is. You know what? How could you, man? This is a static hour. I can ramble, have a long intro if I want, man. Anyway, if you didn't fast forward to the 5-minute mark, hey man, thank you guys for listening to me yammer. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm gonna get straight to the interview though, and here it is. So right now, I think we're out here in East Hollywood with
Ephie Lowinger.
How are you doing tonight, man?
I am doing well. As I was saying, I have a contemplation to share with you and all these listeners.
Yes, sir. What is it?
The great Rick Bravo stopped me on the street. I met this guy before, 2 minutes before, when he said his name was Rick Bravo, but I forgot. And then he said, "Hey, you're a funny comedian who's very handsome. Why don't you come with me to my house for a podcast?" And I thought, that sounds like a great idea. And then I remembered, I didn't watch all the serial murder movies, you know. It sounds like that's the way they start. And I thought maybe I should go tell a friend, hey, take a picture of this guy and get his license plate. But then quickly, Rick jumped in with the solution. He said, what about I go to the car right now because everything you're saying is charming and beautiful and hilarious and I want to get it down.
You heard it here first. This guy speaks no lies, man. I've met him 2 minutes ago, like he said, and all he is doing right now is spitting facts. Ephie, how do you spell your name, sir?
Ephie.
Ephie?
Yeah, very nice. That is phonetic. I like that.
Thank you, sir.
It's very nice. It's different. And also, I know a lot of girls who transitioned to female and then named themselves Ephie, like Ephie Meadows. See, but I am not a girl yet, so I wouldn't have to change my name at all.
Oh. Are you planning on becoming a girl?
I'm open to all possibilities right now.
Why not, man?
Why not?
Shrooms and Joshua Tree. Let's
and
go.
I can still keep a penis.
Mm-hmm.
That's the great.
My man speaks no lies here, man.
Yeah.
Ephie out here speaking facts.
I'm just worried that my man Rick is collecting more than one penis. You know what I mean? He's got them in jars or something. I don't know.
You gotta have them all. I'm all Pokemoned out, man.
Oh.
No pun intended.
I'm both frightened and turned on that you called my dick a Pokemon.
Hey, listen, who doesn't call this shit a Pokemon? Good, sir. Man, what brings you out here tonight at midnight?
Well, the Riff Raff open mic is always fun, but tonight was Miranda Meadows' birthday, so I figured I'd come down, having a good time. And then, I don't know if I told your listeners this, I met this guy named Rick Bravo. You're all caught up. You're all caught up in my life now.
That fucking guy. I'll tell you a thing or two about that fucking guy.
That fucking guy, hey. Rick Bravo.
Tell me more.
Oh, Sandy. We can do it all night. I mean, but not the way you want to. The sexual part, fine, but not the killing.
Hey, grease lightning. That's all. I'm just trying to think of the. No, man. So, what's a movie that you can always go back to? That's like your movie. That's like, you know what? If I want to bring it back, if I want to bring it way back to my nostalgia nerves.
I have it. I mean, there's two. There's the easy answer, Die Hard, because, you know, that's like saying, I like Billy Joel. Okay, everyone likes Billy Joel unless they're an asshole. But Muppet Treasure Island is a wonderful movie. It is not, I'm not just talking, I fell in love with this movie when I was 19. And I've watched it at least 80 times. It is hilarious. It is brilliant. And while we're here, I have something important to say to everyone.
Let's hear it.
If you like sci-fi, any kind of sci-fi, and you haven't gotten into Stargate SG-1, do it. All right? It's like Star Trek with MacGyver. MacGyver is the captain of the friggin' Enterprise, but the Enterprise is a pool that you go to other dimensions with. It's awesome.
And the bidding starts at $3 trillion. Who wants to get in on this amazing? It sounds amazing.
That's it.
Star Trek, you know what? I told my buddy we were microdosing at the time, and
Uh-huh.
we're like, let's watch some Star Trek, old school. I'm kind of like iffy on the nostalgic. Like I'll watch a Married with Children. I'll watch
yeah.
a Seinfeld. I'll go back. But when we're talking sci-fi, old school sci-fi, you're like, but then you put on Star Trek. And it's like those storylines are kicking the ass of all this modern shit. They've been kicking ass for a long time. We just forgot.
We forgot, and Seinfeld would have been hilarious with Data as I think playing Jerry instead.
Who?
Data. Well, it's your Star Trek listeners will get it. This is comedy for dorks.
Hey, it's
So
either
it's
that
like
or I
me.
got revealed as a Star Trek poser. I didn't finish. I watched episodes on it, microdosing. So
Oh, that's okay. No,
For sound
there's
effect.
no pressure, Rick Bravo. You know, but Rick Bravo's great. But what's your last name?
Bravo.
Rick Bravo. Bravo.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool.
No, Rick is the first name is actually the stage name part of it. I actually have the last name Bravo. That's actually my last name. But you know what? You have to pick a solid first name for that. If I'm
Well,
gonna make anything,
obviously, I knew that Bravo was your real name, and that stupid fucked up Rick was made up.
you know, I'm not a Rick. I'm more like a Ricardo. I can't do it anymore. 420, dude, it just happened, and I'm
What?
just like my voice is gone.
Oh yeah. That's why I don't smoke weed too much.
What do you like to partake in? Beer? A good beer?
No, I'm not a beer guy. I actually drink pretty moderately, but I usually on like 15 to 20 a month.
Well, so what's your go-to drink if you're gonna have one drink?
My
moderately?
go-to drink is a tequila on the rocks. Maybe a nice whiskey.
Little lime and salt.
No, lime and salt. I like tequila. I saw this tequila commercial, and it said, everybody wants to know how to change the world, but we figured it out. Here at Casamigos, we made a great tequila. And I was like, are you fucking kidding?
Hey, take my money, man. Take
It's
my
like,
money.
everyone's looking for their purpose in life, and yours is to get people drunk and make money off it. That's awful. Do you really want that to be? Is that really what you want to go to sleep at night saying, man, I changed the world. I got a lot of people drunk, and I made money off it. That's awful.
The bottom line. It's the bottom line, man. The dollar sign's the bottom line, as they say.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Some don't like it, but I think it's fine. The bottom line is the bottom line is the bottom line.
Yo, join
that
us.
was some nice
Grease 3.5. Rick and Ephie here. We're going to be holding it down, writing that shit, coming to you from East Hollywood. Thank you so much for doing this, man.
My pleasure. It has been wonderful, and let's be Instagram friends.
Let's do it.
All right, not
Yes,
real
sir.
friends,
No.
but I'll still go to your apartment for the molestation.
I totally,
Yeah,
my man. Thank you so much for doing this, man.
My
Yeah.
pleasure. My
All
pleasure.
right, sir. Thank you. So there you have it, folks. Muppet Treasure Island. That was a movie that effing Logendler, man, whatever. Ephie, man. That's that's a one name man right there. Yeah, that was a movie that he watched over 1,000 times, man, and it shows. It shows. Now, in all honesty, man, I can totally see that, man. He's a musician as well. He has a lot of follow him on Instagram. I'll fucking plug it later when I figure it out. I'll edit it in right now. All right, it's Ephie Lowinger on Instagram, EPHIELOWINGER. Follow him there to see the man I just interviewed. All right, back to our show. All right, follow him there, and yeah. So that's the movie that he that you know. I feel like sometimes movies just inspire people. You know, sometimes they can make you believe like crazy things. Crazy, like you ever get lost in a movie? And you know, just they pull the wool over your eyes. Like let me see if I can explain what I mean. I feel like the Muppet movie had a profound effect on Ephie, and I feel like I look at myself and I think, what movie for me, had a profound effect on me as a kid growing up. And fucking Terminator 2 Judgment Day, man. I that movie had a profound fucking effect on me, man. I'm not saying I was like the John Connor leading the revolution against the AI and shit. I was more like that 13-year-old John Connor, the crying little bitch at the end, as the T100's getting lower into that vat of molten steel. Because like all my relationships ended in that fashion from that point on. I'll be like my girlfriend, she's dumping me, and I'll be like, please don't go. Please don't leave me. She's like, I have to do this. No, I love you. She's like, move on with your bitch ass. And I'm like, no, I just fucking. Yeah, pretty much. But Terminator 2, man, that made me fucking cry. That movie had me cheering up, man. I fucking loved Arnold. Growing up as a kid, I'm trying to think of movies that I was watching as a kid, because I would watch a couple Disney movies like the Toy Stories and the Lion Kings, those old movies, but I wasn't into like fucking old school Jungle Book or whatever I wasn't a Disney kid. First off, I wasn't a Disney kid. My brother was 7 years older. I was watching like Comic View when I was like 6 years old, not understanding a fucking thing. But probably because I grew up in a household where we spoke Spanish, but my dad spoke English. But I was going to school, like, I was just a quiet kid. Who figured, right? Fucking starting a podcast. I was a quiet kid. I didn't really say much. And so I didn't really understand much of English. I would mostly speak Spanish with my mom. And so hearing like these comedians, I just knew this shit was funny. By the way they acted, they moved, like animated, just all kinds of comedians. Like this, this was just Comic View and Def Jam and all that stuff. So I didn't really understand English, and even when I started speaking English, I kind of spoke with like a little bit of an accent, a little Spanish accent, and then one day, I was trying to unplug an extension cord. I was trying to unplug an extension cord, and those heavy duty ones, the orange ones that have that fucking lock, just super duty. And I didn't know. I was trying to unplug it because I was trying to connect the fucking Sega or some shit. Killer Instinct, trying to play that shit, and I couldn't unplug it with my hands, but I have these sharp ass teeth. To this day, I have these sharp ass teeth. Fucking dentists are scared to deep clean my shit. I'll fucking bite their fucking finger. No, I'm just kidding. But I do have these sharp ass teeth. So I was like, let me disconnect this fucking extension cord, and I use my mouth to try to disconnect it. And well, guess what happened? Fucking that shit was crazy, man. I'll tell you what I saw, man. As I was getting electrocuted, like, from my mouth. So electric currents are going through my fucking skull. I'm seeing, like, the Twilight. Do. That whole thing. Both eyes. Each one had one. But they were, like electricity, like, all shaky and sharp and jagged. Like, like, coming right at my eyes. I got electrocuted for about good 7 seconds. And they finally got it pulled off. Fucking smoke coming out like tss. And from that day, I was able to speak perfect English. It was fucking incredible, man. No, but that did happen. I did get electrocuted. Still have scars on my mouth to this day. Anyway, that probably did something to me. I don't know, man. I've been told I need medication. No, I'm just kidding. I have been told, though. One time, like, in high school, all the kids were, popping pills or fucking doing triple C's, Coricidin and all that shit. And everyone's popping pills. I didn't really fuck with that shit. And this one kid, the homie, Jeremy, he was just like, hey, bro, like, do you take pills? And I'm like, nah, man, I don't really party like that. And he's like, nah, man, do you take medication? I was like, hey, what the fuck? Fucking disrespect. And no, I don't need that shit. Maybe I don't know. Fucking, I blame it on the electric currents. Hey, the static hour. Listen, I was seeing static. My brain has been static to this day. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Movies, right? We're talking movies. Yeah. Yeah, Arnold, man. Jingle All the Way. You guys seen that fucking Jingle All the Way? That's a Christmas. I don't. Okay, well, I don't know. I was about to say that's a Christmas movie. That's a Christmas movie that should be in rotation. You know, that shit should be in rotation, right? Like in the all the Christmas movies that get played on Christmas. At least that one should be up there. It's a very fucking funny movie. But then one time I was like, fucking put this movie on, right? And that movie is fucking hilarious. I mean, it was hilarious. It was great to me. I loved Arnold, and he was in a funny Christmas movie, and it was great. I'm talking about an action figure or a toy or a muñeca, as my mom would say to me when she was mad, like a doll. But anyway, it was about that, right? And it was a very funny movie. And I recommended that. I was at my girl's family's house for Christmas, and you know they always put Home Alone, Christmas Story. I was like, fucking put this movie on, and the movie is funny, but towards the end it gets really fucking corny. Where it's like my dad's terrible, man, dad, yeah, and everyone's like clapping, and it gets really fucking corny. But at that point I was kind of embarrassed. But fuck that shit. That shit had Phil Hartman. That movie was fucking great. But I was like, If someone walks in on this part, it looks like a really corny ass movie, and I'm there just like fucking eating it up. I love this movie. It was like when my friend fucking loved. I love wrestling, and my friend loved wrestling too, but he loved the Ultimate Warrior. And I'm from the Attitude Era. I love Stone Cold, you know, The Rock, Kane, and all that. And I appreciate all the other older wrestlers, but that's when I was into it as a kid. But he was a couple years older, and for some reason, at this point we're like 21. I'm already over like wrestling for the most part. I'm into UFC now, but almost the same thing at this point. That's why I loved it. Grown up wrestling, if you ask me. But anyway, we're like 21 drinking some beer, and then this fucker puts on YouTube clips of the Ultimate Warrior. This fool takes off his shirt, takes off his pants, and he just does the Ultimate Warrior where he's like fucking, you know, bench pressing or like, you know, overhead pressing and shit, doing that. And I was like, I mean, this was cool when we were kids, but goddamn, bro, like we're in a fucking apartment just smoking now. There's some girls over, man. What are you doing? And but anyway, that's, you know, so that's what it seemed like in terms of just like kind of like, maybe, you know, this is just for me, for my peeps, you know. But that movie should be put in rotation. But also The Wedding Singer, that's another fucking movie I loved as a kid growing up. Adam Sandler, obviously, but The Wedding Singer was one of those movies where I seen Billy Madison, I seen Happy Gilmore, but that was like one that I was able to see as it came out. And I love that movie. Drew Barrymore, man, I had such a crush on her. And but anyway, many years later, I put on The Wedding Singer, and it's fucking hilarious. And some of the homies and the roommates are all watching it, laughing or whatever. And then some other people that had never seen the fucking movie for some reason, they would come in halfway through the movie, and it's that during that part, I don't know if you remember, but it's that one where Adam Sandler's helping Drew pick out her like wedding cake, her wedding dresses, and it's just like that. What I want you got, find it hard to handle, like a flame that burns a can. And it's just like really like if you haven't seen the lead up to that, and you just see, you know, just the corny scenes, and it's just like, it's like I don't know why I'm embarrassed. I shouldn't be embarrassed, but I feel embarrassed if they don't see the fucking context. And it's all about context, people. That's all about context. I explained the long introductions to my last episodes. You have to put everything into context. Now, listen. That's The Wedding Singer. What other movie did I like? At this point I'm just talking comedies. I was into wrestling, right? I was into WWF at the time, and I wanted to get a pay-per-view. I forget what pay-per-view it was. It was like a fucking WrestleMania No Way Out or Royal Rumble, And it's back in the day when you order that shit on pay-per-view, you know? I was like, we were into it, man. We're talking Stone Cold, The Undertaker, Mankind, fucking Kane, D-Generation X, fucking I'm an ass man. Just all of it. Super homoerotic, but super fucking fabulous, man. It was great. I watch UFC to this point. Bringing back to my point, I was like, when Conor McGregor came around, it just reminded me of old WWF, and I ain't afraid to admit it, man. That's why I fucking got into the UFC. No shit. But anyway, let me get back on track. Sorry if you guys are hanging on with my own incoherent. I can't say that word. I can't say incoherent, right? Sound all incoherent and shit. Anyway, we're trying to order the pay-per-view, right? On pay-per-view, and then for some reason, like I said, my brother's 7 years older, and he wanted to see fucking There's Something About Mary. So without me, he got my dad's permission to order the pay-per-view, and instead of ordering the fucking Royal Rumble or whatever it was, he fucking orders There's Something About Mary, and I'm like, you motherfucker. I was fucking pissed, dude. I was like, we had like the fucking Pizza Hut pan pizza delivered and shit, and I was all ready to go, root beer. I was ready to fucking get all into fucking dudes in underwear fucking hugging each other and shit. But he went ahead and ordered fucking There's Something About Mary. And I laughed my fucking ass off at that movie. That movie to this day is like my favorite comedy if I had to pick one. I don't know why. I don't know why. I was like, I don't know what age. I think that movie came out around 98 or something. So I must have been like 7. Wait. Yeah, about 7. Wait. Yeah, 7 years old. So that shit just fucking laughing my fucking ass off on that movie. It's to this day one of my favorite movies, man. Everybody's fucking great. Yeah, man. I forget it was Ted, the guy in the with the crutches. He has like fucking Olsen Nelson. Oh my god, it's one of my favorite movies. I need to rewatch it. But that's one of, and to this day, man, since that movie, I don't know, I always loved Ben Stiller. And pretty much everything Ben Stiller does, I enjoy. I haven't seen all his movies. That's the beauty of it, because honestly, like, I pick one movie, I watch one of his movies that I haven't seen, and I fucking enjoy it. So it's like not watching The Sopranos during its initial run, but you can fucking just binge watch that shit all at once. I did that with right before the Many Saints of Newark got released. Yeah, so I did that. When that movie leading up, so I can watch the Many Saints of Newark, because I'm a sucker for prequels, man. I've heard the fucking Tony Soprano's son was playing a young the actual James Gandolfini's son was playing him as a young Tony Soprano. I was like, fuck, I'm sold. I have to see this shit. And so I watched all the Sopranos at once. And it was great, man. So that's how I feel with Ben Stiller movies. I seen that show, that one show that's on Apple TV called Severance. Holy shit. Watch Severance if you have not seen that one. That one's really cool. Ben Stiller directs a lot of those episodes. Just The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. That's a fucking cool one. Cool soundtrack. Yes, he does good work, man. I fucking love Ben Stiller. And in terms of comedy, man, old school comedy is just way superior. Even Judd Apatow had some good shit, man. He had a run. Everything he touched was just fucking hilarious, you know? I mean, obviously, you know, each person has their flaws. I think J.J. Abrams does the fucking sun flares or the solar flares on every fucking movie. Everyone has their little things that kind of like knocks them down a peg, but still, it's still fucking. Judd Apatow had some funny. I think his comedy and his movies and the people that were in his movies, Seth Rogen and the Michael Cera, Jonah Hill, all those guys. They were cranking out some solid comedy that I feel that had a profound effect on many people's sense of humor. I think, in my generation at least. Obviously, it evolves, but he's another one. I'll still watch one of his movies. That's a comedy movie, right? We're still on comedy. Fucking Puss in Boots. Have you guys seen Puss in Boots? My God, I just saw that the other day, man. That was so hilarious. I have not laughed that hard. And you know what? And that's not saying. I mean, it's all subjective. But if you guys want to just turn off your mind and just watch a fucking hilarious ass movie with great writing, John Mulaney's in it, fucking Wagner Moura, Pablo Escobar from Narcos voices the wolf. A bunch of other fucking funny people, the British actors in that. It's just so cool. And then you forget, it's like, why is it so funny? It's like, oh yeah, these fuckers wrote Shrek. They still got it, man. They still got it. God bless them, man. Stand with the writers in Hollywood right now, man. You guys got this. Because keep cranking out those movies, man. Fuck. Some funny ones. There's some stinkers in there, guys. There's some stinkers. But fucking, you guys nailed it on that one. Nailed it on Puss in Boots. Telling you. This is the end of my own. It's fucking, yeah, it's great, man. Trying to think of what other movies. I've been watching a lot of documentaries. I was watching the documentary, the New York Meet Me in the bathroom. Meet Me in the bathroom about like the strokes that has, LCD sound system, Interpol, all these TV on the radio. It's pretty cool. I like that whole it's all shot like on old school VHS cameras and stuff, so it looks all like, that was a good aesthetic, man. That was a cool aesthetic. Been watching that, but been watching the J.J. Abrams show on Showtime. Oh, been watching Yellow Jackets too. That's a good one. But as well, watching the UFO show on Showtime by J.J. Abrams, and that was fucking interesting as shit. About the UFOs and stuff, It has that whole, I was talking about the whole, everyone has their little signature moves. Fucking the sun flares and solar flares for no reason are all over that damn documentary. But I fuck with it. I fuck with the first episode. Second episode, it gets to like almost like those kinds of the last couple episodes I've seen get into the whole well, I think the second episode like gets into the history, the Project Blue Book shit, and then the third episode gets into like Skinwalker Ranch and all that, and it's all that kind of stuff. It's like, it's not really proven. Get to the fucking UFO, the UFO videos. Anyway, I'll save that UFO talk for another episode because I'll go more in depth into that. This one's about the movies and shows. The Wire, that's a good show. They're thinking that Idris Elba is going to play the next James Bond, and I'm all for it, man. If you guys haven't seen The Wire, it's a tough show to watch. Tough show to get into, at least for the first episode. And then you get to the second episode, and if you halfway through the second episode, so it was like, okay, I gotta watch this shit. And then from that point on, you gotta watch at least the third episode. That's when Omar comes in. And but anyway, the reason I'm talking about The Wire is because Idris Elba is in it, and they're talking about him playing the next James Bond. And if you've seen The Wire, and you see, man, he's a fucking James Bond. I don't give a fuck if you're racist or thinks James Bond should be white. First off, who gives a fuck about James Bond? America, all right? America. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger, Congo. Wait, no, what the fuck was it? Whatever the fuck. Commando. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, James Bond, I fuck with James Bond's cool shit. But Idris Elba can play a James Bond. I'm all for that shit. Let's go. Let's go, Hollywood. Make that happen, man. Because he will be a fantastic James Bond. And you gotta watch. Don't believe me? Watch The fucking Wire, and you tell me. You tell me. You see Idris Elba in the fucking tuxedo? You tell me he isn't James Bond. Leave it in the comments, you motherfuckers. Nah. Who else can play James Bond, man? First off, he has to be British. Idris has that. Which British actor can play James Bond? I guess the guy from Peaky Blinders. He can probably play James Bond, but more like a James Bond villain or some shit. You know. Daniel Day-Lewis. Am I right, folks? Come on. Hey, listen. All right, let's wrap it up. Some other movies I watched as a kid. I was watching The Godfather, Scarface by 6th grade. You know what I'm saying? So I was watching all these movies growing up. So I was watching I was renting Meet Joe Black, like at 9 years old, watching Black Hawk Down and shit. I don't know why. I just love those types of movies. You know, I can't really fuck with the Goonies. It was past me, man. I mean, I'm telling you, I was watching like fucking zombie movies on top of that. So I'm talking about the comedy and all that. Also, my brother's 7 years older. We're watching fucking zombie movies, Night of the Living Dead, all of them and stuff. And I thought I was all like super down. Like, I can watch any fucking scary movie, man. I was all in. I was like, give me the scariest fucking movie you got. And back in those days, when you used to rent something off like a Blockbuster, Mr. Video out in San Bernardino, or whatever the fuck, wherever you rent your movies, and those VHSs had those like little previews before the movie, and there was this old preview. They used to go like movies. It's like Ode to Joy by I think Beethoven. I don't fucking know, top of the head, whatever. The movies, you know, the whole orchestra and the whole choir. Anyway, that whole thing's going, is flashing all these movies, you know, different clips. You got they show Indiana Jones, they show Goonies, you know, I don't know what movies they're showing, but they're showing all these crazy ass movies. And one of the clips they showed from the movie was The Exorcist, and it was a scene where, you know, I think they go in the room or whatever, and she rotates her head, and she goes, rah! You know, I was like, holy shit, let's see that movie. Fucking, I don't know, I might have been like 7 years old. I was like, let's see that fucking movie. I was 2nd grade. Let's see that movie. I'm down. Rented that fucking movie. I was watching it. Creepy. It was eerie. I was all in, right? And the part that did it for me was that scene where she's first getting possessed, like really getting fucking possessed, and the demons going up her throat. Like that scene, that part where she fucking arcs her back on the bed, and you see the fucking thing just going up her throat or down her throat or whatever. And I was like, I started bawling my fucking eyes out. I was like, yeah! I was a mess. I was scared out of my mind. I was a little Catholic boy watching this freaky ass fucking movie. I didn't even finish that movie. It took me years to go back to that movie, but anyway, I was afraid of the dark for about a good 2 years after that. Like, I was legit afraid of the dark. 2nd grade, I get being afraid of the dark. Kindergarten, preschool maybe, 1st grade, you're getting out of it. 2nd grade, going on to 3rd, 4th grade, I was fucking frightened of the night, man. So much to the point where, like, say it's like it was around, I don't know, winter, when the sun's setting early, like around 6 o'clock, and we're gonna go out for dinner, and the whole family's in the car. And we get in the car, and my mom's like, oh, I forgot something, you know, and she runs in, and my dad's in the car, right? My mom runs in back to the house. All the lights are out. We're on the street, parked, and all the lights are off, and she's in there. I don't know what the hell she's doing. She's taking like fucking 3 minutes, like 3 minutes probably, but I'm fucking crying because I'm thinking she's in there with fucking some exorcist thing crawling up the wall. It's like, my mom's in there, man. It was horrible. And then what was also fucked up was like, so that was like that year, right? And then the next year we're coming down from like Big Bear, pop a tire, Now we're on the side of the road coming down, on Crest. I think it's Crestline. Way down past Crestline when you're like hitting San Bernardino going towards 40th Street when you're coming off the mountain. That big ass, coming off the mountain, right? So we're not that far into the mountain, but we're like kind of almost a quarter of the way up, and we're off to the side of the road and pop tires. Nighttime, I'm just like, no, fucking losing my mind. That's the power of movies, people. That is the power of movies. But yeah, man, Godfather, Goodfellas, all that jazz. And to this day, like, I like those types of movies, like A24. Oh, speaking of, I ended up watching The Exorcist later on, and it still kind of fucks with me. So I can watch it now and not be scared, but fuck that. The only other movie that kind of did that to me, I wasn't such a crying little bitch because I was already like 25 years old or whatever, or 26 or whatever. But Hereditary, man, whew, that Ari Aster, he's a fucking bastard, man. That's another one, man. But I like A24 movies. I like certain superhero movies. I like the new Batman movie that came out, and yeah, I want to see it all. Evil Dead. I want to see all these movies, but there's not enough time, man. There's not enough time in the world. Thank God for streaming services. Oh, and I had to turn in my PlayStation because the warranty was going to run out, and my PlayStation has been through a lot. So I wanted to get the 4-year warranty was about to run out, so I sent that shit in. And while that was in, we had to pull out the old DVD player. And how sad is it that, like, you look through all your movies, a selection, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll watch American Hustle now, Like, I didn't see it in 2012 when it came out, but fuck it, I watched that. And yeah, man, that was good. That was a good one. Fucking Silver Linings playbook or whatever. That was pretty funny. I didn't see it during the time, but it came through. It filled the void, the streaming void. When you're forced there to watch an entire fucking movie because it's like I can't go on Netflix or anything like that. It's kind of surreal. I miss that. Just having to watch a fucking movie you rented, man. Whether you like it or not. Either that or you lose your money. You know what I'm saying? And what was fucked up too was like, I rented like, I don't know how this happened. I think we rented a movie that we already had. Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, it's just so stupid. Like, we have like a whole cabinet full of fucking movies that, they're all good movies too. We got fucking Devil's Advocate up in there, Dog Day Afternoon. It's a bunch of Al Pacino movies. We got that movie, but we have those random movies that you will probably see at red boxes like from 10 years to this point. Bunch of fucking movies. We inherited it from my girlfriend's aunt. Shit ton of movies, but we got our PlayStation back, and now we're back to spending hours scrolling through the many streaming services and apps trying to decide what to fucking watch, and then just end up watching Everybody Loves Raymond because it's fucking 3 in. But anyway, guys, that's it for this episode, man. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. I'll catch me at this Friday in Lake Elsinore, man, at the Craft Brewing and Kitchen. And guys, thank you guys again for tuning in and hearing me ramble. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to the Static Hour. Peace.